Hi everyone, this is a tutorial video designed to work hand in hand with the instructions on my website. Bear with me, I'm not a video content creator at all. I find it quite difficult to do, but I'm doing this because I know that a lot of people do find these instructions quite difficult to follow, so I hope that a video might help. There are 5 sections to this video, so if you've done the first one especially, you can nip on to the second one, but let's go through them. So the first one is formatting an external drive correctly. The second part is a guide link to my website and an explanation of exactly what we're doing, and I think it's really important that you do listen to that bit before you start doing anything. The third part is moving the actual folder to the hard drive and creating the Symlink, whether that's the Sims 4 folder or the Electronic Arts folder, whichever you decide to do. The fourth part is checking that your CC and mods work, because this seems to be a very popular problem that people are encountering. It does work absolutely, you just need to make sure that you follow the instructions properly. And finally, troubleshooting is different if you have created the Symlink. So the fifth part of the guide is how to test a clean game folder, where we'd normally move the folder to the desktop or we'd rename it. The last part is how to do that quite separately, because we've created the Symlink. So I hope that this helps you. This isn't always necessary, but the drive that you use to create the Symlink must be APFS or macOS extended journaled formatted. Nothing else will work properly. So to do this, make sure your drive is plugged in. You could either use a brand new drive or you could use an existing one and reformat it. Remember that when you reformat, you're wiping all the data from it, so back it up if you need it. Or you could create a second partition on an existing drive. I'm going to put links to how to use disk utility below the video, so if you need any help with that, you can go straight to Apple's pages. So plug your drive in. If you see this, yes, you must allow your drive to connect. If you don't, obviously it won't work. So once you click allow, your drive should mount on the desktop. Now we're going to use disk utility. You can find that either in your applications, then your utilities folder here, or we can go to Spotlight and type in disk utility and it will show up. This is the default view that you will see. So you can see here your Macintosh HD, which is obviously your internal hard drive, and here we can see my external one. It's already formatted as APFS, but I'm going to reformat it now to show you. You can change the view as well. So at the moment it's on only volumes. This is typically what you would see in a Finder window. So you can see Samsung external here, and you can see it there. And as you can see, it's empty. So we're going to change that to show all devices, which is a bit more comprehensive and shows you the partitions within that hard drive, or containers. It's one and the same thing. So we're going to select the main drive and we're going to go to erase. Make sure you don't choose this bit, as this is your internal drive. You want your external. And I'm going to call it Sims 4 Drive. And I'm formatting it as APFS again. And the scheme needs to be GUID partition map, not master boot record, not Apple partition map. So you make sure those are selected, name it what you like, and then hit erase. And it's done. And then you can quit out of disk utility. I wrote my guide to create the Symlink about 4 years ago now, I think, after getting frustrated with the small amounts of storage that Apple make available on their new machines. And also I thought it would be quite handy if you've got more than one laptop to be able to move between them both. Being able to plug a drive in with all your saves and mods and everything on it. So my instructions on my website are still the definitive guide. However, I know that some people like videos. I'm not even going to go there with TikTok, but I can just about manage to do a YouTube video. So to do this, go to my website, which is bluebellflora.com, and on here you'll find, if you're not already familiar with it, I've had this site now for about 12, 13 years, and it's just devoted to Mac simmers. I don't care about anybody else. It's just us Mac simmers. And they're mainly tutorials and guides and workarounds, some CC and mod stuff that I've done in the past, and I used to do lots of building. Anyway, for this guide, we're going to go to The Sims 4, and then we're going to go to storing data externally, and then running your Sims 4 folder from an external drive. Don't worry, I will put this link down below as well, but I implore you to please use this page along with this video if you haven't already found this page, because there are instructions here which is a lot easier if you copy and paste. So that's the address that you need, and also read through this guide at least once before you even attempt to do this. It can be quite complicated. You don't need to be crazily tech savvy to do it, but you do need to read some links to fully understand what it is that you're doing when you're creating a symbolic link, because if you ever create a symbolic link and you ever need to reverse it and you can't remember what you put in, it's going to be very difficult to do so. So have a really good read through. Yes, it's a bit wordy. I don't like particularly overlong guides myself, but it's very informative. And near the bottom are the common error messages that people post about that I cover here, and some pop-up windows that we're going to encounter during the installation process. And then lastly, at the end, how to reverse the Symlink. So how you get your Sims 4 or your Electronics Arts folder, whichever one you choose to move, back onto your internal drive. And then there are so many comments down at the bottom, and I'm afraid I pretty much don't bother posting many replies here now, because none of the questions are any original issues that people are coming up with. If you follow the guide fully, you will get this to work. I absolutely promise you. It just works on all Macs and all operating systems. It's commands in Terminal, which is a Unix-based system, so it just works. So please have a read through of this first of all and understand what you're doing, and also why you're doing it, because a lot of people think this is just copying your existing Sims 4 drive to an external drive, and it isn't. It's tricking the game into thinking that your Sims 4 data, your saves, your mods, your game options is still on your internal documents folder, when it isn't. It's actually going to be stored externally with an alias to your internal one, but normally the game wouldn't see an alias. It would just create a new Sims 4 folder. So the operating system is saying, hey, we've got this folder in the documents folder, but actually we're going to move the whole contents to an external drive, and we're going to create a shortcut to that folder in the documents folder. So that's what this guide is doing. It is not duplicating any files. If you read any other guides or videos or anything that say it's duplicating them, it isn't. It's moving the data off your internal storage, and that's the whole point of doing this, so that we can get that space freed up and moved to the external. So to do that, we'll do a couple of things. First of all, we're going to open a documents folder so we can see where all the game files are. So there's the usual Electronic Arts folder, the Sims 4 folder within it, and then all the usual contents that we're used to. So that's all local in my user account on my Macintosh internal hard drive. And then we're going to plug in the external drive that we just formatted. Yes, we are allowing connection. We're going to open it, and I'm going to have that so you can see both of them together. This is a more logical way around for me. So the external drive, the internal drive. So here you can see the file path is the external, and here we can see this is the internal here. The idea is to get this folder over to here. Now, you're probably thinking we could just move it. Yes, we absolutely could. But when you move stuff over to an external drive, you don't actually move it completely. You copy it. So we could do that. but that's just copied it. As you can see, the original is still there, and we don't want that because the Symlink won't work if we do that. So we're going to delete that back off the external drive. We're going to bring up my website. So we go to bluebellflora.com, Sims 4, storing data externally, running your Sims 4 folder from an external drive. Here we go. Bonus points if you know where that header is from. Be very impressed. Right, here's on my guide. Once again, read through this, make sure you're familiar with it. The name of my external drive on the instructions is USB, but obviously now we've actually called it Sims 4 drive. The name is irrelevant really, just make sure you're using the right one. So, step 1, we're going to move the folder. So we're going to copy that command. And we're going to paste it into text edit. Nice simple document there. And then we're going to open Terminal, which by the way is also in Applications, Utilities, Terminal. So there it is. Now let's go back to our text edit file, and here this is the command. So we're moving the Electronic Arts folder from the Documents folder on my internal drive. The tilde denotes the username, user account, and we're going to move it to Volumes USB, but my drive's not called USB, it's called Sims 4 drive. So we replace USB with Sims 4 drive. And then we select all of that and we copy it, paste it into Terminal like that. Let's just collapse that. And now you should see, when I execute the command, we should see that folder there move over to this one here. So back to Terminal, arrow across to the end, hit enter. So Terminal would like to access files in a removable volume. Are we going to allow it? Absolutely, yes we are. So it can so it can move this folder over to here. So click OK. Terminal would also like to access files in our Documents folders, of course, because it wants to move over that folder to the external. So yes, absolutely allow it. There we go. The folder has moved, not been copied, moved from our internal Documents folder to the external drive, and there it is. You can see there's all the contents there. There's my save that I recently made for this tutorial. Okay, so now we've done that, we are going to create the Symlink. This is the bit where most people run into problems with for various reasons, which again are covered in the guide down here. Common error messages and all the solutions for those error messages. So we've moved the folder. Now we're going to create the Symlink. So again, step 2, copy my command. So this command is ln /s /volumes, the name of the external drive, Electronic Arts folder, and then the local Documents folder. So let's copy that into our text edit file, like that. The ln is to create the Symlink, the -s denotes a set of parameters, and the name of the external drive needs to change. So here we go, the Electronic Arts folder here. We're going to create an alias or a shortcut to the local Documents folder here. Okay, so that's all fine. We've changed the external drive name. We copy that and then we paste it into Terminal. And again, let's see what happens. So over here, a shortcut is going to be created to this folder here. But it's not just any old shortcut because it's a Symlink. So the game doesn't know it's a shortcut. The game still thinks that this is the actual Electronic Arts folder. So we go back to terminal, arrow across to the end, hit enter. And there we go. The little folder with the magical little black arrow is created on here. Now, we can quit out of terminal now. We don't need that anymore. So let's go through that again. Over here, this is my external drive. And in here is the Electronic Arts folder with the Sims 4 folder with everything in it. And over here, there's a shortcut. Now you know it's worked because you can see here, this is the local Macintosh hard drive with my local user account and my local documents folder. And inside there is an Electronic Arts folder. However, that all looks fine. When we double click on it to open it, watch what happens down here. It instantly goes to this external drive here. And you can see that save there has a timestamp of 1746. 1746. This is the same file. These are not duplicates, they're not copies, it's the exact same folder. So if we go to my local documents folder here, it says it's an alias. It's not an alias in the true sense of the word. It's Symlink has been created to create it. So there we have it. And now we should be able to open the game. Let's see what happens when we click on this. Play. Yes, absolutely allow Sims 4 to access files on a removable volume. If you don't allow it, you're going to get the Sims game is already running error. I promise you, I guarantee that will happen. So, click OK. There we go. Game is launched. Let's get through so I can load my save. Ah, joy. Let's go through all this rubbish. I hate this. Keep going. So many packs now. So many packs. Almost there. Almost there. Okay. Resume. When it decides to load. There we go. There's my save. Oh, look at that. That doesn't look very nice, does it? Don't know what's going on there. Anyway, there we go. Just took a sec to load. And there we have it. So we'll quit out of that. And we'll quit Origin. All good to go. Common problems people seem to have is when they add mods to their game and they say that they don't show up. I don't know why this happens, to be honest, so I'm going to show you how to do this. So we're going to open Finder window. We're going to open the Documents folder locally and the Electronic Arts folder. It doesn't matter. The folder is the same. It doesn't matter if you navigate via your Documents folder like we just did here, or if you navigate directly from the Sims 4 drive. It does not matter because there is only one location for the mods folder now, and that's on the external drive. So you can see my mods folder is empty. I don't have any in this game. I've just downloaded one of Peacemaker's lovely window sets because his CC is frankly my favourite. let's just open that. And I'm going to put that in my mods folder. All PC's lovely stuff. Close that. Let's open Origin and launch the game. Let's hope it loads quite quickly. There we go, that was pretty good. I always like playing in windowed mode. I think the graphics look better. There we go, as we can see, that CC is all loaded. I'm going to just disable that so it speeds up loading. Let's go to resume my save. If you don't know Peacemaker stuff yet, then you need to go to his website, Sensational Designs. I'll put that link in the bottom too. So let's go to build mode. And let's go to the windows. Come on, PC, where are your windows? Let's have a look. Of course, the game thinks that everything is new. I'm going to just search for it. Is it Arcadia, I believe it's called? There we go. There you go, you can see the CC opened and loaded quite happily. One thing that's worth noting is that when you're trying to troubleshoot any issues where you would normally move the Sims 4 folder to the desktop or you would rename it, it's slightly different when you've created the Symlink and moved the Electronic Arts folder. Also, the reason why I moved the Electronic Arts folder and not just the Sims 4 folder to the external drive is because if I have Sims 3 installed, that means that the Sims 3 folder also goes onto the external drive. So we haven't got, if you have both games installed, you don't have a Sims 3 folder on the internal and a Sims 4 folder on the external because they're all in the same folder. So all we simply do is rename the Sims 4 folder. So we can just put folder at the end of that. And then when you launch the game, a new Sims 4 folder will be created in this Electronic Arts folder. And that's great for troubleshooting. And then you can do the usual 50-50. You can move saves back in, mods back in, check what's causing the problem. I'll put links on further instructions for that below the video too.